Hello, this is KatDon. Sorry if I haven't been up too much lately. I mean, I have been doing Phenomenon Serendipity a lot, but I'm doing. I've been working quite hard lately, and I've been working on a lot of stories I've been writing, including this one known as Blood Birth. I know it sounds like a really weird title, but whatever. So, today's topic I want to do on not anime, not manga, not today, but comic books. Like, there are so many. Like, there's Marvel, DC comics, old comics, new comics, but I've seen this comic book series for the first time. I mean, I've seen pictures a few times, and they're kind of risque because they're supposed to be fairy tales, but they have a lot of fan services. That's right, I'm talking about Grimm fairy tales. No, not the old-fashioned one. I'm talking about this one. Yeah, I know. There's like boobies up the colada. But anyway. Like up the yin-yang with the boobs. Jeez, and I thought fairy tale had a lot of boobies, but these take the cake. Not that I have anything against it, but jeez, give me a break, will ya? With the boobs. But anyway, moving on. So I've seen these pictures a lot, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can read one, but I couldn't find a way to read them. And besides, I was kind of younger, but now that I'm 23 years old, now I can actually read them, and I won't have to worry about it, because I've seen a lot of fan service since anime, and possibly in some few movies when I was younger. And the thought of it kind of makes me a little uncomfortable. I'm not really big on fan service, but, you know, I try my best to see the badass despite the sexy pictures. But yeah, Grimm fairy tales. First time I read it, I was just, wow. Like, despite the sexualized fairy tales, they actually have pretty good morals. Okay, in modern day, people are going through struggles in their life, and they come across a mysterious woman who goes by a professor named Sela Mathers. Sela is a sexy-looking teacher and has glasses that make you think, gosh, she kind of would be hot enough to be Bayonetta, right? Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, Sela carries around this nice-looking book, but on the inside, it has some very, very graphic stories that are based off of fairy tales that relate to people's lives. And sometimes people have a choice between making good with decisions, or they ignore these things, and sometimes they get into some trouble. Some of them are actually kind of jerkasses, and they get their just desserts. So yeah, it's actually a pretty good, interesting read. Read. Sorry, my words. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah. So I wanted to put out 3 of my favorite ones so far. And this one is Grimm Fairy Tales issue number 10. Okay. If you guys want to know what this is about, I suggest you listen here, because this one, I was like getting off my mums, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, and by mums, never mind. Anyway, so it all starts with a teacher who turns out to be Sela, leading the class of dissecting frogs. There's a boy who always wears a scarf. He goes by the name of Neville, and he has a huge crush on this blonde but mostly alpha bitch by the name of Lizette. He does her reports in order to get her to like him, but she still is a jerk. She notices the pinkish scarring looking on his neck, and she finds it disgusting. But the thought of her dissecting a frog makes her even more sicker. When Neville screws up, Lizette leaves the room. Sela orders everyone to get back to work. So Sela grabs her book and she follows Lizette, telling her she dropped something, and gives her the tale of the Frog King. There's different titles to that. It's the Frog Prince, but there's also a Frog King story too. There's many different versions of the Frog Prince. But anyway, so Lizette reads it, of course. In the fairy tale of the Frog King, there once was a princess who is similar to Lizette by the name of, I hope I get this name right, Calliope? I hope so. So this snotty princess isn't too thrilled with unattractive appearances, so she always goes to this magic well and loves to look at her reflection. However, the bead from her crown falls off into the magic well. She at first is upset until one day a frog comes up and gives it back, but only if she is kind to him and makes a promise. The princess, of course, is repulsed by this. She said she will, but of course she fled from sight. However, the frog managed to follow her back to her castle, banging on the door and asking to be let in, saying that she promised. Her father, who was quite a kind man, insisted. So the princess was reluctant. So she did what the frog said twice. But on the third try, she was so disgusted by him that she just violently threw him out the window, and he looked like he was dead and bleeding to death. However, the frog was picked up by an unattractive servant. The servant wasn't too happy about the princess's kindness, or lack of kindness. So, he takes the frog back to the well, which it magically revives the frog, who turns into a man and comes right out of the well. Moments later, the princess is visited by someone of a carriage. She could see that it's a beautiful looking king. So the king takes her to the magic well. At first, he asks her if she's beautiful on the inside as in out. She replies, "Oh yes," ecstatic to be swept off her feet. However, when she's led to the magic mirror, she is given a sip of the magic well's water. So when she took a drink, she at first coughs, and she accidentally takes off the king's attire around his neck, revealing a scarring on him. And then the princess is transformed into a grotesque, green, disgusting looking frog creature. She leaps into the well, and the servant seals her in the well, and the servant and the king manage to get away. I know what you're thinking. Wow, that is evil. But hey, she got what she deserved for being such a jerk, you know. Once the story was over, Lizette thought the story was dreadful. Sela reminded Lizette that fairy tales are supposed to be moral allegories, but Lizette doesn't take too kindly. She takes a drink of water from the water fountain, but all of a sudden she begins to feel dizzy and goes to the bathroom. Meanwhile, Neville was feeling quite hurt. However, one of the students comforted him. He was also the same person that told Lizette to leave Neville alone. The guy said to Neville, "Don't let Lizette get to you." Sela approached Neville, saying, "I know you were the one that wrote Lizette's report." Neville felt guilty and he tried to explain, but Sela knows. "You wanted her to like you, I understand, but you can't make someone like her like you." But Neville said, "But she promised." And Sela says, "And those who don't keep to their word will serve the punishment." So Neville took off his scarf, and Sela says some nice things, like saying, "Neville, there is nothing wrong with you. It's people that think there is something wrong with you. Never forget that. Be more careful." And she gives her a kiss on the head as a comforting sigh. I was like, "Oh, that's sweet." I actually love that issue. I thought it was cool. And what happened to Lizette? Well, let's just say she became quite green, and she's got warts all over her body. Coincidence? I think not. But it was pretty interesting, but also really sweet, too, at the end. Sweet revenge, that is. But yeah, I thought this one was pretty good. Like, really, really awesome. And this one was one of my favorites. Besides, princesses should really not look down at the unattractive. And by princesses, I don't mean royalty ones, but also snobby girls, too. Allegories much, right? Or Aesop's. So yeah, well, this is going to be a to be continued, but don't worry, I got more if you want to take a look. So then, I'll see you next time. This is Katherine Donovan. See ya!